Hey, Shecky here with what I'm calling a camp tools review. My wife and I and son went camping not too long ago and took out some interesting tools that I think you might be interested in. So I wanted to just kind of run through them and tell you how I felt like they performed. Beginning with the fire building department, I received one of these as a gift. I received this as a gift not too long ago. It's kind of a homemade Swedish fire steel. Basically, you scrape the magnesium and then give it a little, and it lights the magnesium. Very, very hot. And as my medium, I decided to try this little guy. This is the Ignito Fire Start packet. Got this at Walmart. And basically there's two little plastic packages which have kind of a white paste in them, and you light the whole thing per the instructions, the plastic and everything. I'm assuming it's not actually plastic, but some kind of natural plastic like thing, like they're making plastic items out of corn and such these days. And it's supposed to last, if you see there, up to 15 minutes. It didn't need to last that long for me because it was a very dry day, had been dry for a while. In fact, that weekend they had just lifted the burn ban in this particular location, and everything was just bone dry. There was green grass, which was nice, so the fire didn't get out of hand, but this worked very well. But honestly, I probably could have started it without this, with it being as dry as it was. The next item, kind of a do-all kind of tool, is this. This is a Gerber shovel. Take it out of the little bag here. I've had this for a couple years now. It's a very small shovel. If you just yank on the handle and it extends the handle, and then like a lot of the military shovels, it's got a little screw here. You screw it down and you can either put the shovel in the right angle position like this, or you can put it straight. And the reason I actually got this shovel is because of this guy right here. If you look, there's a little textured, what they call a hammerhead right there, and that allows you to whack in tent stakes. Works very well. Next item is a new item for me. It's this dude right here. Now I know you guys are what you guys were saying now. Oh man, Nuttin' Fancy fanboy here, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a Nuttin' Fancy fanboy, get over it. But basically this came to me in one of those really great, you know, once every couple of years deal, and I actually found this on Craigslist for $10. It doesn't come with the case, but it was brand new. No use whatsoever, had the cardboard packing still on it. Brand new. And let me just tell you, this dude does not disappoint. Basically, if you look here, when you swing this down, I don't know if you can see in there, it actually pushes the blade out the other side. And you pull the blade out. This is going to be a little bit tricky on camera, so be patient. You turn it over so that you have the little nub side here, and you hook that the blade onto it on that side, maybe, and then hook it on to that guy here, and then you tighten it with this guy here, the little tightening or tension screw. And when Nuttin' Fancy talked about this guy, he said you need to tighten that down very tight, and he's absolutely right. If you don't tighten that down, you're gonna have a lot of problems. It's gonna wiggle a lot. It's just like any kind of saw where you can take the blade off like this. You want good retention. You want good tension on the blade. Like I said, this thing was a buzz saw without power, other than my arm. I did, as recommended, keep it well lubricated while I was cutting, and it just tore up a lot of the stuff that we had to deal with. And even though a lot of what we were dealing with was rotting wood, wood kind of reaches this, at least the wood we were dealing with, reaches this kind of point where it's partially rotted and partially not, and it has almost a cork feeling to it, and it's very springy, and it really resists cutting. It tends to want to just kind of move out of the way of a blade. And so it was a challenge, but this guy really, really did a number on all of it. So I'm very, very happy with this. My wife, who is a bit of a seamstress, is going to make me a little slipcase for this, so it's a little easier to carry when we actually do a backpacking expedition. But this guy will no doubt be going with me. And the thing about it is it's just so light. You know, I've been to Cabela's and looked at some of their, you know, camp saws and stuff, and either they're, you know, pretty anemic because they're just, there's a handle on one side and you just tighten the screw and you hope when you press on it it'll actually cut, or they're actually, you know, they're actually carcass, you know, parting saws, and they're just not made for backpacking. But this guy is, it's incredibly light, folds small, holds, actually can hold 2 blades inside of it, although right now I only have one. But when I go backpacking, I will definitely have a second backup just in case something happens. But this was a real surprise. Not surprising that I didn't think it would perform the way Nothing Fancy said, but I was really shocked at how great a job it did and how incredibly light it is. So that was great. Very, very happy I found that right before the camp trip. Next thing, moving on to the knives, is kind of what I had belted, what I had strapped to my belt. And that's this Gerber, I believe it's called a Big Rock. Kind of an average knife. You know, it's not big, it's not, you know, made out of the best steel in the world, but it definitely got the job done. I wasn't displeased with it, although, you know, I got such a good deal at this. I really didn't care if it was, you know, kind of a junky knife. It would just be a nice in-between, fun in-between knife. Had it sharpened. Actually, probably the last thing I'll have professionally sharpened, and I'll talk about that in a future video. I haven't really been happy with most professional sharpeners in my area, so I'm actually going to endeavor to do it myself. And I have a really interesting sharpening item that I'm going to show you guys before too long. I've got to get good at it and feel like I'm actually giving you some good advice to buy it, but once I do, and once I feel like it's a viable option, I will definitely let you know what it is. Anyway, this is the Gerber Big Rock. You can see it's a partially serrated blade. Very comfortable in hand. I use this primarily for food tasks. Did do some light thrashing on it. Used it to remove small twigs from a limb, and because of that, it actually did require resharpening a little bit, or at least touching up the blade. Which was kind of disappointing, and I'll explain a little why that was disappointing now, and that's because of my other knife.